If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I love cheesy, so bad that it's good horror games. It's honestly one of my favorite genres. I've discovered yet another one called Extermination for the PS2, and there's something special about this one. On the surface, it seems like a lot of other games that I've talked about on this channel. It's got a plot that seems to be copying Resident Evil, but with bug monsters instead of zombies, and it has some fantastic voice acting.
That didn't sound too good.
But what really makes me love this goofy game is something else. You follow a military team as they investigate a base overrun by monsters. It's a high-stress, scary situation. But this game will just turn into a soap opera at the most random moments.
Stay here. Once we finish arming the detonators, we'll leave together.
Didn't I ask you to leave me alone? You just show up here like this. How can I forget about the past with you around?
It's so jarring every time it happens, and I'm obsessed with it. So today, I'm going to tell you all about the survival horror game that won't stop turning into a depressing drama, Extermination. I'm also going to start giving this disclaimer at the start of my videos, so here it is. This video is not a serious review, but rather a comedic retelling of the plot because I find it funny. In other words, please don't get mad at me for not talking about the gameplay or critiquing the story. We're just here to have some fun. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So, as I alluded to earlier, Extermination is about a military team receiving a distress call from a top-secret base in Antarctica, and they go to help. On the plane ride there, we meet our main character, Dennis, and he's talking with his superior, Roger. Now let me tell you something about Roger. He is a bro, a ride or die. He will always be there for you and give you the best advice. We love Roger, okay? So Dennis is feeling pretty worried because Cindy is at the base. You see, a few years ago, Dennis was on a mission with Cindy's boyfriend, Andrew. He died saving Dennis's life, so now Cindy hates Dennis and blames him for Andrew's death. Now, the game doesn't tell you any of this. You just witness all the drama going on between Cindy and Dennis with zero context.
I haven't been able to contact you ever since that day.
Dennis, is it really just a coincidence that you're here? Regardless, I don't have anything left to say to you.
Throughout this entire game, I assumed that Dennis and Cindy were ex-lovers and Andrew was Cindy's brother. Boy, was I wrong. But can you really blame me when they're not giving enough information about everyone's relationships? I didn't figure it out until doing research after I finished the game. I mean, don't get me wrong, I obviously preferred the show don't tell method, but this game could have benefited from a little bit of tell. Anyway, Dennis is worried because he wants to protect Cindy to make up for what happened with Andrew. But that's kind of hard to do since she hates him and wants nothing to do with him. But it's okay, because our boy Roger knows just what to say to Dennis.
Dennis, I know what you're thinking. I can't stop you from living in the past. An old teacher once told me, life is full of pain and suffering. You have to be strong to deal with it. When times are rough, I look at this and remember that I have good friends. We're more than just a unit. Never forget that. Your pain is my pain.
Ugh, he is just the best. When a game is about a bunch of tough military dudes fighting monsters, you're not really expecting the characters to be so open about their feelings and working through it with their teammates. But honestly, I love it. I hate the trope of the big, tough, burly man who thinks feelings are for chumps. So, Dennis, Roger, I like you. Their nice conversation is unfortunately cut short when the plane crashes, scattering the entire team throughout the base. Pretty quickly, they discover the reason for the distress call. That being, there are bug monsters taking over the place. Our boy Dennis doesn't have to face these horrors alone though. His best bud Roger is with him. It's Dennis and Roger working together to save the world from bug monsters. Oh no. Roger! He's been turned into one of them! No! A woman in a hazmat suit shows up. She gives Dennis a vaccine and tells him to take it if he doesn't want to turn into a monster. She also informs him that he's going to have to kill Roger, as there's no way to save him. Why do the good die young? After Dennis sadly defeats his bro, he meets up with the girl in the hazmat suit. It turns out that she's actually Cindy. Dennis is happy to see her and is ready to protect her, but she's very cold to him. She doesn't want to talk to him anymore. Dennis tells her that they should just put their past aside for now, so she reveals that a virus broke out in the base, turning people who don't have the vaccine into horrible bug monsters. Yeah, I should have guessed that was the case. It's always a virus in nearly every survival horror game. Cindy doesn't want to talk to Dennis anymore now, so she tells him to go find the rest of his team. He meets up with a few other soldiers, one of which is Major Mike. He informs Dennis that they're going to blow up the base to stop the virus from spreading.
What about the survivors? We have to save them before we blast this place.
Our primary objective is to destroy this facility. We'll worry about survivors later.
You're going to worry about the survivors later, after you've blown up the base. By that point, they won't be survivors anymore. Dennis runs into Cindy again. She's with a woman named Sonia, who also worked at the base. She tells Dennis that he's going to have to manually turn on 3 detonators in order to blow the base up. He'll also have to find 3 metal tags to do this. Then Cindy and Dennis turn this game into a soap opera again.
Let me forget.
I don't care if you despise me, but on that day, Andrew sacrificed his life to save mine. Now, I've sworn to protect yours no matter what happens. I have to. For you and for Andrew.
Oh yeah, if you find the metal tags, call me on the radio.
The tone shift is just so out of nowhere that it's funny. Dennis leaves, and then Sonia has a heart-to-heart talk with Cindy.
But trying so hard to forget the past is just going to make things worse. As long as you're trying to forget, you won't be forgetting at all. You don't have to forget. Try putting yourself in his shoes and accept the situation. You'll feel a lot better.
You know what, Sonia? You're a nice lady. A true friend. Kind of like Roger. You're actually pretty cool, and oh, she died too. Why do the good die young?
Sonia. I can't tell Cindy, no way.
That's a great idea, Dennis. Cindy already hates you, so lying to her about what happened to her friend is clearly the best choice. Also, he literally never tells her what happened. At no point in this game does he break the news to her. If Roger were here, I'm sure he would have told Dennis this was the wrong thing to do. From here on out, Dennis runs around the base, searching for metal tags and activating detonators. Lots of things happen on his adventure. He runs into his teammate, Gary, who is bleeding out on the floor, but he found a metal tag and gives it to him. Then Dennis just leaves him there. Really? You're not gonna help him out? You're just going to leave him injured in a spot where the monsters could easily get to him? Dennis has a few conversations with Cindy over a radio, and together, they're able to figure out that the creatures die in the cold. Also, if they kill the source of the virus, it'll destroy all the monsters that spawn from it, completely eradicating it. This pretty much just confirms that blowing up the base is the best plan, since it'll leave all the monsters in the snowy Antarctic weather. But again, maybe we should worry about the survivors before we do that?
We'll worry about survivors later.
After that, something pretty upsetting happens.
Dennis!
Roger, I am so sorry that you have to suffer like this. And now we have to kill our best bro a second time. This is not okay. Moving on, there's some random reporter that shows up and talks to you on occasion.
I can take care of myself. I've got my story. Why the hell would I want to stay here? I don't want to test my luck any more than I have to. I'll see you around, Sir Marine Sir.
I really don't know what he adds to the story, but okay. Dennis meets up with Cindy when Gary suddenly shows up.
Gary, what have you been up to?
What has he been up to? Bleeding out. Gary stays with Cindy so she can look after his injuries. While they're alone together, Gary decides to have a talk with her.
The fighting was so fierce that he couldn't even bring back Andrew's body. Do you know how much that means to us? You know, Dennis worries about you constantly, though he never shows it. He's ready to trade his life for yours.
You know what, Gary? I like you. You're a real bro. Now you better not die like Sonia and Roger. If this game kills off another true friend who gives good advice, I'm gonna lose it. Dennis arms the last detonator and finds a strange monster in a tube of liquid. That's when this random doctor we've never seen before shows up out of nowhere and is like, that's an alien, and it's the source of the virus. Okay, Extermination. I wasn't expecting an alien to be behind everything, so you get a point for subverting my expectations. I expected this doctor to just be a crazy scientist who wanted to create a weapon, though that twist did come out of literally nowhere. There were no hints to aliens being involved until now. The doctor rants about how he views the alien as his son. The alien starts to vibrate, causing things to fall from the ceiling, and the doctor dies. Well, that was short-lived. Gary, Dennis, and Cindy escape on a boat after blowing the base up, but then the alien chases after them in the water. But our hero is able to successfully gun it down in the final boss fight. Anyway, more importantly, how is Gary? Did our bro make it?
Hey, I'm invincible. Tough guys like me don't go down easy, you know. It hurts just a little, but I'm cold and I'm wet, so I'm going inside.
Oh, thank God at least one of our good friends lived. Cindy apologizes to Dennis for being so mean to him, and she realizes that Andrew's death isn't his fault. Dennis vows to protect her no matter what, and they agree to be friends. All is well as the trio sails away from the horrors they experienced. By the way, Dennis, you still haven't told her about Sonia. Remember, you were lying to her. I'm sure that'll go over well. But anyway, that is Extermination, a Resident Evil type survival horror game that just randomly turns into a soap opera sometimes. And I love that about it, okay? This would be just another cheesy, kind of forgettable survival horror game without it. The drama that is inserted at the most random times is so funny. I love it. Let me know your thoughts on this heart-wrenching story down in the comments below. Also, let me know if there are other games like this one, or movies, anime, other media that you want me to talk about. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe to see more content from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. And also, rest in peace, Roger.